Kathy back with Big Barn Balloons. Again, how is everyone on this Sunday? Fun day Sunday. We got a good one today. Get this turned on. Let's see here. Get us all dialed up, right? Turn down that volume. All right, hair's up. This is a work day. This arrangement is like, whoo, it's a bear. But I want to teach you guys because it's easy. Easy, but very long, a lot of work. Hi, Dee, good to see you. So hopefully you guys can see pretty good. I've got it heading down on this section of my buffet today. So there's one of my planters in the corner there. The other one that I worked on yesterday is on this side. So yeah, we've got some good stuff that's going to go in this arrangement, and it's going to mimic that a little bit. Colors at least. I got to grab one more thing I forgot. Because you know me, last minute, oh yeah, where's that? I got one more element here that we're going to put in here. Let's see, where's my scissors? Sorry guys, I'm coming. Never fear. Okay, you have to pull these apart. I forgot my flocked birch. I'm like, you gotta put some flocked birch in this, especially for the hike and everything. So I've got everything on the table here right below my phone, and with a mound. And we're gonna fill up that basket there behind us. So we've got to get these out, get rid of the trash. Thought I was ready, and I looked at that one behind me, and I'm like, where's the birch? What happened to the birch? Okay, got the birch. We cut the bands on it. How is everyone? Let's see who's coming on. Dee, Marie. Ah, you just finished working in your yard. I need to work in my yard. It needs some love. It's like between winter and everything. It's been a few years since we've put fresh bark down and all that kind of stuff. I need to, but we'll see. Rains are coming again, so who else we got on? So Dee and Marie so far. So I have a time lapse of this. If you can believe it, I just built it in the last 3 hours, and then I took it all apart just because I like to know what I'm doing before I go live. And I went, I should post that time lapse before I go live, but I thought, no, I'll save it. And one of the reasons I do it before, like if you're an event decorator, we all practice before we have to go install, because some things just don't work. You think, that'll work, and it's like, no, it won't work. And I had one element to this arrangement that did not work. And when you see the time lapse, you'll know which one it was. So this arrangement is bulky on the bottom and very airy on the top. But I always like to put a stalk flower, especially for spring. So I wanted to put some of these, but they're very heavy. So they kept sinking and falling. And I don't use foam. And if I use foam, it wouldn't be a problem, but I don't want to use foam on these. So I probably won't put them in this one. We'll see if I can get them to stay and do what I want. But I do have a lighter one I might use that's super tall. And if I put it in the beginning, it might just work. So, and that would be these. These are like cherry blossoms. Aren't they pretty? They're huge. So let me cut these apart, and maybe these will be the key. So, so I built it, and I was like, oh, I got to take that apart and get ready and for the live. And then I realized it was 10 after 1 when I started taking this thing apart. And it takes some time to take it apart. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do my hair or anything. Hair's going in a ponytail, so. Yep, which is better when I'm working on something big anyway, so. All right, so we got these kind of, well, one more band at the bottom, but I want to try these this time because the other ones are just a little bit too heavy. They're not tall enough to go in the very back when I first start it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I had to put them in later, and then by then, no. So these might work. So we might try these. So let's me get started. Let's see. Hi Sandy, Virginia, nice, nice. Thanks for joining today. Thank you guys for watching, I appreciate it. So first thing I'm gonna tell you, big huge willow basket, right? These like big market baskets, I love them. This is a vase from Home Goods. I can't lift it out because it's heavy. I had to have Bob put these two together. And then what you do, the vase, this has a really small opening on top, and that's what you want. This has a huge opening, that's why you can put a vase in a vase. But we're going to be working on 2 levels, but you'll still get the feeling that we only worked in the big basket. But that's why cheap, because it takes half the flowers to do a massive arrangement when you do it in this method. Now what you can do, the level between here, this is really deep. So what you can do is wind up little balls of chicken wire and throw them in. It's almost like doing a vase filler, that, or like if you were doing fresh flowers, like, you know, the frogs for fresh flowers, or they put the floral tape, the clear tape over a vase. So it's kind of the same idea for this. You need something to support your stems in between the 2 vases. Otherwise you're going to be placing your vases and they're just going to fall, right? You're not going to get them where you want. So what I did, I hit that just right because I have things in there. So what I put in mine, I was going to do chicken wire, but I went, I'll just do something simple this time. I tore up cardboard. You can tear up cardboard. It works, you guys. So don't go fancy and go out and buy things to do something like this. Go grab one of your Amazon boxes, because you know we all have Amazon boxes, and tear it up and shove it down between the basket and the vase, or the 2 vases, or a bucket, like the time lapse that I posted before. It's done in a big metal bucket, so with the same vase. But this time I wanted the texture of the basket, so we're changing it up. Okay, so first element, we're going to work on our frame. So, but before we add these, one more little cheat for you. Hold on, let me tell Bob, he's like playing an online flying game, and he's got microphones on and everything, and he can't hear that he's yelling. So let me tell him to shut his door. Sorry. Hey, Bob. Hey, I'm lying. You gotta be, keep down. All right, coming back. Okay, promise I'm starting now. Okay, so I'm like, hey, shut your door, keep it down. Anyway. Hi Nancy, glad you're on. Okay, so here's what I use. These will be in my Amazon store. I use a faux vine. This is supposed to be like a honeysuckle or grapevine, but it's completely faux, and this is a thick one. Now, again, you can use anything you want, but see this vine? So what I do with this is going to go around the rim, and even though I have cardboard in there, or chicken wire, or whatever you want to stuff your basket with, to not only bring this level up for your stems, but to kind of give them something to hold on to, so they're not flopping the wrong way. Well, this is going to do the same thing to the top rim, and I'm going to let a little bit of it hang out, which will look pretty cool. So we're going to just go around in this, and we're going to stuff this. We're going to stuff it, I promise. We're going to just stuff it in. Doesn't have to go all the way around, but we're going to go pretty darn close. And then here, I'm going to let it hang out. I'm going to go around, and we're going to stuff that in. So I have a little bit hanging out, which looks kind of funny now, but when you get it built and you have that vine just kind of hanging out, it looks kind of cool at the end. So, and then these we can twist different ways, you know, put more curlicues, separate them, whatever we want to do. So here's one here I can bring down. So that's how I start this arrangement. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our height. And I have all kinds of different branches we're going to be putting in, including real. I have some of the pussy willow I showed you guys yesterday, and I have a bunch of the curly willow, and then of course the flocked birch. So we're going to use all of these, but those are going to go in after I get some faux greenery in. These are great. This is like a eucalyptus. These are from Hobby Lobby in their everyday aisle. They're awesome. They're pricey. I think these are, I want to say they were $15.99 each, but on the week, like they were 40% off this week. So when they're 40% off, it's a little easier to swallow. But you need these for the height, at least I do. This is what I use to build. And then I like how wispy they are. So, and what I do like about them too is you can bring some of these little pieces forward, like this. See, I'm bringing them forward, bring it forward. And this way you get some of this element coming out into the front of your arrangement. So this is an excellent, excellent stem to use for this arrangement. So we have some of these poking out here, and let's go ahead and start this. So at first, it's going to look pretty funky. So we're just going to, and I stuffed this too, by the way. The base level is brought up along with the others. So I just got to find mine starting, and this one is going to, it's going to give me heck, which is fine. The very first one's the worst, and it's not going to stay where I want it. So let it fall, because as we keep adding, they'll hold each other up. That's the whole premise of this whole arrangement. If you do it this way, they'll start supporting each other. And as you layer, 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 they'll support the next level. So that's what we're accomplishing here. It's kind of a weird thing to do, but it works. Okay, so we've got that one in. Let's put a second in. Just finding that spot where it just stays. And then remember to bring some of these forward before you place them in. It's hard to fluff and move these branches once they're in there. Like, you don't want to, because you don't want everything shifting. So there goes a piece of curly willow. I need a bigger dining room table for all these stems. Okay, so now let's do this one in the back, and it should stay. Oh, there's a piece of glue or something on there. There we go. So we have three. So, and they're going to stay. If it's in a high traffic area, yes. So this is for my house, so I do it this way. But honestly, if I was doing this at an event, but you'll see when I'm done, nothing moves. I mean, it's so stuffed that it stays. But I would probably, especially for the top level, I would throw a piece of foam in there. And you could actually get away with cutting these stems down a little bit if you did that. But you could wedge, and I would use the hard foam. Don't use the dry foam, use that hard, green, ugly styrofoam, and it would work really good. Or you could also probably use spray foam, would be good. And I would still fill the bottom of that vase. I have it with packing paper and cardboard. Maybe put a round disc of cardboard on top and then spray foam. Just the very top of it is all you would need. Let it sit overnight, you'd be good to go. So, but by the time you're done, this is a very stable arrangement. You wouldn't think about it right now, but once you're done placing all these, if you can see the mound in front of me here, it's like, it'll stay put. And I like, this is something that if I was doing a wedding or some kind of event, I would build this in place. I would not build this and try to, well, you'd have a hard time. You'd have to have a van with an empty back to transport something like this. And then you risk it all shifting. So even with foam, you would risk it shifting. So anyway, so we're just gonna put one more piece in here for the front, and then see how you can bring these forward, because we want a little bit of that. Right like that. Let me shift that one a little bit. And see the one in the back shifted to the right just a little bit to one side? It's okay. You will never notice any of that. So most of all this is going to be gone by the time we're done. So now I'm going to come down into the bottom. And this is where I like that I can go through this little vine here. And we're just going to scatter some of these through the cardboard, or if you have chicken wire. And then you can bend this out a little bit, because we want this to drape a little bit. I want some to come out and some back. But I definitely want some draping going on. So I'm kind of making my frame. I'm outlining this arrangement with these first stems. And it's super important to do that so that you know what area you're working in. Once you get the outline done, everything else is going to come down except for the curly wheel and the branches. But once we get the background done with the branches, everything's going to start shrinking after that and coming forward. Okay, so here's another one for this side. Let's bring this on in. And we're going to bring this over a little bit too. And yes, I'm waiting to hear it because every year I do this arrangement. I do it in the fall too. You guys can see my fall time lapse of this. That's too big for that area. It is, but I don't care. Go big or go home. Make it as big as you want. In your house, if you want it smaller, make it smaller. You can do this same method using a smaller basket and a smaller vase, but you'll still get that drama. So don't think you have to, this is probably the biggest scale I would do this on, but make it yours, you know, if you like it smaller. And I have a vault ceiling in here, so that helps. If it wasn't vaulted, I probably wouldn't do this big. But because I have all this space up here, you can't even, well, you can see the ceiling right there, but it kind of needs it. Anyway, and my house is not huge, but I tend to go bigger on furniture and everything. It's just what I do, so. But make it yours, so. Don't come at me. Don't come at me, people. Because every year they come at me, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? No, this is what I like to do, so. Okay, so we have 3 up top. See that one shifted a little, which is fine. They're going to shift. So we got 3 up top, 2 on the side. So now I'm going to put 2 coming out between the top and the bottom. So we have the bottom level, top level that we're working on, but then we need to fill in between those 2 levels, working from the bottom. And then we just put a slight bend on this, just a slight, so that we don't have a space there that's like empty, right? We want it to continue. And then this is my last one for that. Bringing some of these forward. Let's do that on this side. Bring it down, and then we're going to put a slight little bend on it. And you got to make sure when you bend this that you don't end up with a hard angle, because that will not look right. And then I'm going to bend some of these forward so that they'll be out in the arrangement. So we have some coming out here, some coming out there, and that's pretty good. It's not going to be absolutely mirrored perfect, and I'm sorry, you probably can't see that really well because of the mirror, but it'll make sense as I go along. Hi, Martha. Let's see. Tabitha, yeah. So use foam if you think you need to use foam, if you wanted it more stable. Especially if people are running around, kids running around where you're worried someone's going to bump into the table or whatever. I would, yeah, because if someone bumps in, it's gonna shift a bit. Anyway, okay, so we got that one done, but we still need more greenery supporting the tall greenery. So next one I'm going to use is this. This is another form of like a bamboo, okay? This is pretty. It's a little bit lighter and glossier green, so I like it. The stem is light, where that stem was a dark brown. That stem almost has a bark on it, which I really like, the Hobby Lobby one. So we're going to put some of this up in here. And this is where it gets funny, where everything's going to shift. Don't worry about it. It's like things will shift and things will move, and we will just move them back as we go. Like I said, this right here is the hardest part of this whole arrangement, is getting these to stay in place. So, and this one's going crazy right on me right now. There we go. Okay. As I go, that'll push back a little bit more. So we've got one. Let's put 2 more up in here. I'm going to get this guy back eventually. Somehow I'm going to get him back there and in the middle. He's just being a pain right now. Okay. Let's get some more. I'm going to come in from behind over here, because we're just filling in the top and making it look pretty. So now they start to stand up. Once you get past that first little group, it's like much easier. Okay, so now that I have those, this one's caught on that a little bit. let's bring in some of this dark green, but we're going to bring it here, right behind these two levels. So we'll come in with this piece. And this is where I like that vine I put in because it kind of helps support these guys a little bit. Right, like that. Oh, we have to come in up above him. Miss my vine. Don't miss your vine. And then kind of bend him out a little bit. So it's going to help support, the vine is really going to help support. And we're kind of filling it in. The biggest accomplishment you need to do with your greens is filling in so you don't see that base anymore. And we will get there. Coming behind this one. And then as they push each other down, just fluff them back up. Okay. So now I want to come in front a little bit. And I'm going to put a slight little bend on this one because I want it to come spilling out the front a little bit. But I don't want to cover these. So I'm going to pull these forward and come in the front, right like that, and then just spill them over the front. And they're going to stick straight out, and that's exactly what you want. I know, it looks kind of funny right now. Let me look on that. It's looking funny with these coming straight out, but trust me, it's what you want. Okay, so let's come on this side. In between that. And what I'm doing with these, when I push them in, they're actually going, see if I can get that down a little further. I'm going right up next to the base, in between the cardboard, or if you have wire or whatever, right next to the base. So if this is the base, I'm coming right on the edge of it. So it's pushed up against the base and my base filler, or my cardboard. And that way it's supported. So we have two coming forward there. Let me push that a little bit sideways more. And I need a little more of a curve on that one. And then let's break this up a little bit more. So then we just start bending as we see areas that need little holes filled. So our greenery is starting to fill up a little bit. Well, let's get a couple more of these. I'm going to come in with this one. A little bend over here. I'm going to come over here on this side, right here, toward the back. We're not going to do the very back of this vase and basket, but we're going to get close to that mirror. If you're doing this for like an event and it goes all the way around, then you're going to have to go all the way around. I would still suggest doing this as a one-sided arrangement, but hopefully you'll have a table that's up against a wall or something where people walk by the front of it. Unless you're using foam, if you're just balancing branches with each other, I wouldn't suggest this be a free-floating arrangement in the middle of a room, because it is delicate. Even with foam it is, so it's big. Unless you want to do the entire thing in foam, then you're good to go, right? Thanks, Martha. Yeah, Pottery Barn, I love the mirrors. Two mirrors butted up against each other. It works really well. Okay, so let's get another one on this side, just so that we can kind of fill up this back a little bit. Just a little bit. This one's coming way down, which I like that. Let's have this one come down a little further. On this side, though, I don't want to cover this guy too much. A little piece came off, so we'll just take that away. It's like a jungle in here. Okay, so next we are going to add some regular silver dollar eucalyptus. So when I'm picking my greens, I look for the color, the size of the leaf, the texture, and you want all three different. So, and I actually used a fourth we're going to do some of this too. So you want the different colors, different size leaves. You want to go from glossy to matte so that you add interest. It makes it look a little bit more real. So let's go ahead and get some of this guy in here. Let me go toward the back first. And this is when it's fun because now the basic frame is done and everything holds each other up. So I love this part. This is when I can get that one piece to stay in the middle now because I have other stems supporting it. So we'll just start filling this guy up. So we've got a nice little bunch of 3 there. Let's come down into this area here. And then these we're going to have to bend a little bit because we don't want them straight up and down. We want them to follow the design. So we're going to bend them a little bit on that side, and then we'll do the other side. So when I'm working on top, it's 3. You saw 3, basically. So middle, side, side. Then I go side, side. Then I get into the middle. So whatever you do on one side, bounce to the other side so that you don't get so far into your arrangement and you've missed some. So if I go right here, now I'm going to go left here. Might be opposite for you because the phone, but just make sure you're going side to side. Don't miss one because you were sometimes like me and go, oh, squirrel, and you move on to another area. I've done it before. It's like, oh, I missed one there. Something's missing. Okay, so now we're going to go toward the back with this because we want the depth. We don't want this to be completely flat and then you get back over here on the side and it's like arrow thin, I mean just paper thin. So we're going to put some back here just to add a little bit of depth to this guy. Turn it around and hit that backwards. Right in there. And we'll come back in here in this section. And what I need to do is this is when it gets tricky. I'm going to feed it through because I need to do that further back. And bring it down. There we go. So that we're filling in back there. You'll never see this stem, but if it wasn't here, you would definitely notice that there's something missing, that there's a gap back there. So I have a little piece of it sticking forward, which is fine. So get your sides and get your back. Okay, we have 2 more of these. So I'm going to come forward and out a little bit more over here. I don't care about the very front middle on this because I have other things planned for that. I'm just keeping this kind of greenery in the background. So there's some more eucalyptus. And we have one there, I'm going to do one more here. So we're getting all greened up. Okay, one more is going to be in the middle. So we have middle back, we're going to do middle front. And then I'm going to bend these side pieces out and forward a little bit so they'll come out in the arrangement. Right like that. So it's nice to have these little ones coming forward because they'll peek out at the other elements we're going to add. It'll make it really nice. Okay, next, you guys, is going to be our willows. And let me take a drink real quick. The pussy willow, this is real, but you can also find the artificial, and they're really not that bad in the store. So if you use the artificial, because these are super tall, you can just wire or wrap with floral tape a stem on the end to get the height that you need for them. So if you go and they're like a little bunch or they're they're short little 12-inch stems or whatever and you need more height, just lengthen them. So literally, I have a piece that I cut off. So literally, if I needed to lengthen this, just bring another one up to it, another stem, some scraps you cut off, use your floral tape and get your length you need, okay? You don't have to, if you can't find these, don't stress. Use your artificial. So just make them longer, it's okay. All right, so actually, I'm gonna do the curly willow first. And we're gonna go straight up and back with this first piece. Look at the drama that adds. Curly willow will be your friend if you've never used it before. It gives it that natural element too. I mean, this is obviously a faux arrangement, but when you start adding this stuff to it, it's amazing. And we're not gonna fan this out completely. We're gonna keep this toward the top of this arrangement, which is where it belongs. But it's gonna add the super hype drama back here. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, I've got a couple more pieces here. We might bring a few pieces forward a little bit, but I want to get this back really going. Right like that. And then you may have to shift your branches a little bit because, of course, we move everything when we're adding more elements, which is fine. One more piece on this side over here. Like that. Okay, that's good for that. So I have these two little pieces. I mean, they're baby pieces, right? But I'll wait till the very end, and once we get all the florals and everything in, I'll probably have a few coming right out the middle here. It'll be a nice look. Okay, so let's get some of these in now. These are so fun. Love the natural branches. So we're just gonna feed those down here and there. And they're gonna have a mind of their own, so don't stress over them. Everything's not gonna be perfect like you're doing a faux flower arrangement. You know, when you do faux flowers, silk flowers, whatever, you can kind of really dictate where everything lands. But when you start adding natural branches like this in a non-foamed arrangement like this, they're gonna have a mind of their own. Let them, it's fine, they'll look great. So we're just gonna let them fall in there and go where they kind of want to. But we do have that nice base of greenery supporting them. So you can get a little bit of structure to them. All right. Gotta get in between there. There we go. Whew. Little piece there. Now maybe I'm going to come out a little further on the sides. Further and bring the level down just a little bit on these last two pieces. Get in the right direction there. There we go, right like that. Okay, so I have these two pieces that I'm going to leave for later. But let's go ahead and get some flocked branches in. Love the green. Different color green too. Most of this is pretty monochromatic right now. That's why, you know, we're going to end up adding some of this to brighten it up. But in branches to add a flocked green, perfect. Oh. Yes. Oh, hi Stephanie from Yuba City. Stephanie, not too far from me. We go through Yuba City all the time going toward Lincoln, Roseville. I used to live in Lincoln, so. Dee, yeah, I love curly wool too. Oh my gosh. Love it, love it, love it. Martha loves the little buds on the pussy willow. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. It's just like scream spring. It's like, oh, that's so nice. Okay, so we're gonna go with a big piece of this right in front. I got to go down far enough so that it doesn't want to fall forward. Let me try to find another big piece like that to go up there with it. Because these are all stuck together because they were flocked together. Branches of a feather flock. Just kidding. So we're going to pull these apart a little bit. And then we're going to push them back in. I'm going to go behind this guy, if I can. Let me set this down. I need a ladder, you guys. I really need a ladder. So I did a winery wedding years ago. And I did a huge garland. I mean, like the kind I do on my mantle. But I did it above their big arched winery doors over toward Napa. And they actually had scaffolding for me, and they rolled me around. So it's like, I work on this and it brings back memories. It's like, I need scaffolding to roll around, or a ladder, because it's so tall, it gets hard to get up there and get things where you want. So let's throw a piece over here. I'm just having it come out the top a little bit. And I'm going to go into the background a little bit more so it looks like there's different layers of this. And I like that look. You don't want it all in a row flat. So if you put a piece in, try coming in behind it a little bit so you get a little bit more depth out of it. So let's get these two pieces in. I'm going to do that over here. Come behind this green, but in front of the other green. Let me separate those two greens. Right like that. So I like that when you put them at different depths in this top vase. So again, all these branches, top vase only on your branches, you guys. Okay, so let's come forward now a little bit for these little guys. So that'll look good, and maybe one right in the middle here, but forward. And these came forward a little bit more. They're not all flat. So this is really coming forward, but I like the look. We got more to put in. So there's those branches. Those are fun, right? So don't be afraid to use real branches. And you don't necessarily need to go to the grocery store where they sell the fresh flowers, or go to a florist and say, can I please have some? Look around your neighborhood, or go out into open areas around where you live if you have open areas. And just look at branches. Just look at branches that are laying on the ground, or like we have a lot of manzanita. I love to work with manzanita, but it's really hard to cut. But where could you cut some branches to use, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be these. Okay, I want to try these. I'm not sure these are going to work because they're heavy, but wouldn't they be pretty to put in here, you guys? What do you think? Do you like the little blossoms? I think these are like a cherry blossom. They're super pretty, but I just worry that they're too heavy, so we'll see. Shelly, hi, watching while you work. I like that, I like that. Okay, so let's see if I can get these in and get them to stay. Now, if I had foam, it would be no problem, of course, but don't have foam. And this is the difference between, if anyone has done fresh flowers, the stalks like this are a little more stable, which is weird to say, but these get so heavy on top that see how wiggly it is? But when you have a stalk like this, it is like rigid. And that's what the only thing between fresh and artificial that I miss is the real stalks. Because they're not going anywhere. They're not going to droop. They're not going to start bending forward like this. So these are hard to put in here, but we're going to try. So I'm going to try to go way back into the top vase. I probably should have a ladder, but we're going to wing it here. And I'm going to start pushing it straight down. And let's say a prayer that it'll stay in the background where we want it. And I'm going to try to get some of these to support it a little bit. Okay, I think I got one. Let's see if I can get two more. And these really, I should have cut. Let me go get my big stem cutter. I'm going to shorten them a little bit, and I might have more luck with getting them to stay. Give me just a second, run back to my studio. Okay, I'm back. Getting my steps in today, that's for sure. Okay, so we're going to cut these down a little bit. Let me see. Let's go about half the length and see how that does. So we're going to come in toward the back again because I need the support from these other guys. Definitely need the support from them. But I want this to be down a little bit further. It's staying. These are better. The other ones were really heavy, so I think this is a little bit better. Let's see. I'll go about right there. That's loud. Ooh. Okay. Let's come in over here. I hate to have them all three in a row. I'd almost like to come down there, but there's not enough to support. So at the end, we may shift this one. We'll see. Maybe I'll just try to go a little shorter with it. That's staying. But I don't necessarily like everything to be in a fan on top, so we'll see. We may end up shifting one of those, just to make it look a little more abstract. Okay, so next, we're doing pretty good, you guys. We've got things staying. I want it to go up a little further. These will tend to want to droop a little bit. So you got to kind of push them every layer. Push them toward the back. Okay. Next, we have these guys. So you gotta get a drink. Even though it's cloudy and everything, it's warm here today. I have my patio door open. I'm like, it is like warm in this house. Okay, any questions so far? We have one more. Dee, don't you love this thing? This stem cutter. Big ones like that, I couldn't do them. Before I got the stem cutter, Bob was using bolt cutters on my big stems for me because I couldn't do it. Okay, so any questions at all before we move on? So that's the basic green. That is the frame green. Okay, all of those are the long ones that come out and they're defining our arrangement. Okay, except for the white, that's a little bonus in there. These are going to be our filler greens. This is going to start filling in the middle and we're going to cover that base so we don't see it. So this is why I love these bushes. So these bushes come in stems, but we don't want stems for the middle. We want a bush because there's so much of it that's so dense we can fill in pretty quickly. These are great. These were from Michael Spring. For anybody that's new, I did a post a couple weeks ago probably now, and I put links to all of these different things that I use from Michael's, from their spring line. So anyway, these come in stems and in bushes. I like them both depending on what I'm using them for. These are great too for small wreaths because you can cut all these little pieces off and use them, or a small arrangement. So what we're going to do is just start filling this in. I'm going to come from the outside first, and this is going to add just a great pop of that light green and white. So whatever I do there, I'm coming over here. You're not going to see a lot of it, but it's there. And then I want to come back up in here. So I did on the bottom basket, now I'm coming up into the top one. And it's getting tight, which is good. And then when I put it in, I'm just bending it down. So I stuff it in the base and then bend your branches down so it comes into the arrangement. So you can see that right there. So I put one in the top vase, one in the basket. So we're going to go and do the same thing on this side of this filler bush. One in the top, bend it down, bend some forward. In fact, I can bend some of those forward. So we get a lot of bang for our buck with this bush. Look at how much this 2 little bushes have filled in for us. It's amazing, amazing. So we don't need a ton of it. Now I need to come down, let's see, I did 2 there, 1 there, 1 there. So now we're going to come 1 more layer forward in between these on the bottom on both sides. And again, bring some down, bring some up. So we're just fluffing them. So once I put it in, I pull some of these up, I pull some of them down. So you get a big range of coverage on them. So we're going to bring it in, right there. Bring some of these down, and bring some of these up and forward. We're also coming this way a little bit too, so that we get some more coverage with this little guy. Bushes are so fun to use in these because I feel it's like a cheat. You know, we're filling this up and we're not using 50 stems. But when people see this, when you're done, they're gonna go, wow. Because it looks like you put individual stems in, but you didn't. We cheated. So think about your bushes, you guys. So much fun. Okay, so we've got 1 there. We did 1 there. Let's do 1 right in the front. So we're gonna go right up in the top of the front of the vase. Right here, but I'm going to bring some of this eucalyptus down because I don't want to hide it all with this. So I'm going to go right up on top, and we're going to fan it out a little bit and bring it forward. Bring some down, just like that. Look how it's filling up with very, very little. Do you guys think you could do this? You could. You know you could, now that you're seeing the process. Okay, let's get another one going. I kind of want to leave this hanging out in front. It's interesting. So let's just go 1 right here. Right like that. And then we have another one here. We're going to go right in front here. And I'm going to come between this. So here's our vine, our weird vine. This is where this little part branches off right here. So I'm going to actually come between the main branch and this. I know that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to you guys, but it's going to help support it a little bit. Now, I have to go the other way. So this is why I like this vine, because it can help support. I'm going to wrap it around this little bush because there's not a lot in front yet. And it supports it. It's like, it's awesome. It's not going to fall into my vase and disappear. And I'm just going to kind of spread this out a little bit and fluff it. Right like that. So we want it coming forward at us. Isn't that cool how it just suddenly, you get to that point and it fills up. So we need 1 more right in here. We're going to bury that a little bit more. And I'm actually going to do 1 more. The reason I'm doing that, I want it really dense in front because that's what's going to support all of our stems for our blooms. You know, the good stuff. We're leaving that for last. Okay, so I have 1 there, 1 there. Let's go right in the middle again. And let's make this super dense. So it'll support it. So you just throw it on in there. And it's messy. Yes, it's messy. But that's kind of what you want. You want it to look like it's growing wild. But now it's like, okay, so we've got that green. The darker greens have now disappeared. But now I want to add a little lime green because we need a little contrast because this is all a mass of the same green. So I want to break it up. So I'm going to use some of these. Let's go 1 in the middle. And now I love, this is the fun part of building because everything is supported and you can just start adding. We're going to go 1 on the side over here. You just want this brighter color in here. These you can fluff forward too. Don't forget, I didn't do that on the first 2, but you know, fluff them here and there so that you get the dimension out of them. We got a little hole here. In fact, do I have another one of those bushes? We could use one right there. So let me see if I can find one down here in my pile. It's like you find where there's a problem, you're like, yeah, we need 1 more of those. And I happen to have one here. there's too big of a hole there to support any stems of flowers. So we need one more of these right here. There we go. Now it'll support. Okay, so let's get this guy over here. Still pretty light on that side. Let's see, where's that? No. Why is it not grabbing? There we go. I'm going to come back here with it. So I'm making sure I'm kind of mirroring that, because even though this is an unstructured arrangement, you do want some balance to it. Okay, we have two more, so we're going to come up front with these guys, and they're going to stick straight out. So we're actually putting this in straight, like they're going to point straight at you, and you want that. So that's a nice little addition of that light green. Okay, next, another drink of water. Okay, I want to get some fern. This is that fern, the draping fern that I showed you guys from Michael's this year, and I love. So these are going to drape out the front of the basket. These look really good, but we're not going to do a solid drape. We want some of this, that faux willow branch to show, and we don't want to cover this beautiful basket. But here and there, we do need some to drape out. So we're just going to lift up and push these in. These are super easy peasy to drape, but look at the effect when you drape some of that ivy. So I got a few pieces here we can put in. I'm going to bring some more over on the side. So we just kind of lift up your branches a little so you can gain access there. And these can fluff a little bit too. You can get a little more dimension out of them. Let's put one over here. And it's good because I've got that big willow, artificial willow branch that I put around the rim. I went up and under that, so it kind of holds those in place. Oh, just like yesterday, if you guys watched yesterday's tutorial on those in the corner over there that's hidden now, you could use a big wreath on top too. Same thing. Use a big wreath instead of that vine, and that'll help hold your stems up. So, another little idea for you there. Okay, another piece of it draping. So we just have a few little pieces, and it just adds another element of green. Okay, so I don't need that for now. So next thing I want to add, we want some lavender, you guys, because we've got lavender in those two urns on either side. Now, I must say, this is going to be a lot in here with those two urns and this big basket, but it's Easter and spring. So, and I wanted to show you guys this design, so we did it. I wasn't really planning on doing this year. I thought I'll just decorate the buffet for Easter with the two on either side, the little bookend arrangements. But you can make this smaller. If this is too big for you, like I said, make it your own. But I'm going to mimic those a little bit and add in some of the colors. So let's add a bunch of this right up here. And I'm going to go kind of up into that top basket and just let it kind of hang over like that. Really pretty. Where's the rest of my lavender? So we're going to do a couple pieces. I'm going to kind of spread this out a little bit. And I'll do one right here. Right like that. So you just have some little bunches of lavender growing out of your big arrangement, right? It doesn't have to be all flowers in a row. Use some bunches. It's a fun way to fill up this container. And I like 3. I don't like doing 2s. Odd numbers look better. So we're going to do a third bunch of this right down here. Let's see, let's come a little more front, right in here. So we got 1, 2, 3, right like that. And I see a bunch of words coming up. Annie, never too much, right? I think go big or go home, you know? And more than likely, Ooh, Annie, what were you cooking? I'm getting a little hungry. I'm like, Bob, what's for dinner? Anyway, sorry. I just figure put everything in it you would feel like putting in. You could always take away later, right? But sometimes you'll be surprised. You know, it's like, I wasn't sure when I built this before I had the live, am I really going to use lavender? Once I put it in, I'm like, oh, we've got to use the lavender. Plus it pulls in those side arrangements. So it's not quite as dense as those, but I like it. So, okay. So we've got those in. Next, we're going to use, you ready for this? My favorite Cosmo. These scream spring. These are Hobby Lobby, but they're not spring, they're everyday. So I got a bunch of these to put in, and this is just going to make it pop and look like a fresh arrangement. So we're just going to broadcast these. Wait till you see these in. These do so well in here because they just kind of hang out and go forward, which I love. So we're just going to scatter them. Especially around the, love them around the lavender. And don't forget to go deep. Don't keep everything in front like a fan, you guys. Make sure you get your depth in there. It's going to make them look so good. So I have to have some coming out of the top. I'm making sure I'm getting in the top vase, which is hard to see now. But that'll hold these up a little bit better in the back top of this arrangement. Even though we're coming lower as we go. It's getting crowded, which is a good thing. So this is why we take the time to do all those layers of greens, is by the time we get to our stems, the stems have a really good support system. And this is why I don't use foam. I think foam, this arrangement, I've done it in foam, but it ends up looking a little more rigid, honestly. So I like the wild natural look. So I'm going to bring one of these in here. And make sure you're going in and out, not all the same depth for these. You know, you're going into the background and you're, maybe some are a little shorter, some are a little taller. I don't like where that landed, so we're going to bring that up a little more and push it down. Right like that. And then they don't want to cooperate, you know. Because I don't want this one the same height as that one. You know, you want to kind of stagger them so they look a little more natural. You don't want it to look like everything's in a row. I've probably said that a million times already on this live, but anyway. All right, let's get some more in here. Sometimes you gotta make these flowers face the correct way. You don't want them all facing sideways, so. One back in there. So we're just making this wild and crazy. Wild and crazy. I just want to know, is anyone going to try this so I can see what you guys come up with? Don't let it intimidate you either. Have fun with it. Maybe get a basket half that size, and you could even use a glass cylinder vase for your top vase, or you know how they have those like the tin flower buckets as your center vase. You just want something skinny. You don't want a very big opening on top for that top vase. But once you do this, you're going to be hooked. You're going to go, I'm making one of these for every holiday. So, like me, I change it. I make, well, Christmas I didn't do because I do my Mickey Mouse, if you saw my Christmas buffet, and I did snow and stuff this year. But the fall is insane. I love the fall one with the pumpkins and everything. So, and this one, I don't know if I brought any in, but you can put Easter eggs in this too. Although I don't think I'm going to be doing that today, so we'll see. All right, so we want some coming out the very front. So I'm going to fold this in half because it's too long. It's going to stick out a little too far. So let's do that. Which also is going to help it stay by doing that, you know. And then bend my flowers out a little bit. Let's do the same with this. Because, you know, we're a perfectionist and they've got to face the right way. It's like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I need one back in here. So it's looking pretty good, but then when I get here, there's this void. I don't want solid white flowers, but I need something in the background. So I'm going to put it behind these greens so that you see that the arrangement continues. So we're going to pull these greens forward and kind of far, far in the back, just so they're peeking out on the other side of these greens. That adds definite dimension, and you may not be able to see it, but I see the reflection of it in the mirror too, so it's a good look. Okay, so we're getting down toward the end of these, and we're probably going to need a few more. I'm going to put one down here, just dropped one. But what we're going to need to do is put in some of the bigger blooms, and then at the very end I add a few more of these. So let's have one draping down a little bit. Okay. So I think that's pretty good right now. It's not completely symmetrical, but it's a good look. Sometimes you need to be a little bit not symmetrical, like how things grow in the wild, right? Alfredo pasta and steak. Oh, that sounds so good. So good. Okay. Enjoy. That sounds amazing. I don't know what we're having for dinner tonight. It might be a margarita night. I don't know. We'll see what Bob says. Okay, next. What should we do next? I think we're going to do a couple hydrangeas. Yeah, a whole hydrangea. I like to break it up because I got to put the blooms in next, but I like to get these in first before I do that. So let's put one up higher. We're going to stay toward the middle, but I need to bring it, oh, I got a tag on that. That's not going to do. Let me get the tag off. Anyway, I'm also, there goes my curly willow. I'm going to bend this bloom forward a little bit so that when it goes into the vase, it faces forward rather than straight up, if that makes sense. Dee, I need to get some greens to make one. I can't drive the distance right now, but we'll be able to soon. Right on. Do it, Dee. Dee, did you get to Home Goods finally? Because I told you, you'd be hooked on that store. You go to Home Goods once and that's it. I was a goner once I realized what that store was. Oh my gosh. Seriously. Okay, so I'm going to bring one up here. And I want to kind of recess it. Hydrangeas in an arrangement, I like them to go into the background. I don't want them out the same height or the same depth as the flowers. Flowers are going to come forward a little bit more than these. And then, since I have my cutter out here, I'm going to cut this one down a little bit because I don't need all that length on that stem. And again, I'm going to bend this bloom toward me. And we're going to get this guy right into here so they're staggered. Okay, I hope I have enough to support him. Let's go a little further down. So I'm kind of, when I'm putting them in, like I'm going in the middle of those bushes, and that's where you're going to get the most support. If you have two of those bushes, don't go in between them. Go right through their stems so that they work as like a little cage to hold up your bloom, if that makes sense. Okay, so, and then refluff this. But I like that we have two because we've got some plans for the middle. And then let's put in a few things. We're going to do some big ones and then we'll come back to little ones because look what we have for little ones to put in. We have these. We're going to use some of the green. We're going to use some of these little ranunculus. And of course, we're going to use some berries. So look at this. These are all going in there. Yeah, all of them. This is going to be a jam-packed arrangement. But first we need to put some of these guys in. And I think we're going to add some bright pink too, just because. And I don't know if you can see over there, and I'll take a picture. I added some bright pink to those vases from yesterday because I thought, you know what, I want to add some bright pink to this big arrangement. So I need it to blend. I can't have it there and not on the sides. So I love this. What type of centerpiece will you put? That I'm not sure yet. That's next. So I don't want it to get too flowery in here. It's gonna look like you walked into a florist. So I'm probably gonna do something with either a huge tray or something, or I've got a massive basket and maybe some bunnies and different things. So we'll see. I gotta bring some bunnies into this buffet too. So, but this is a long, long farm table, so we'll see. Okay, so we're gonna put the big ones in now. So I'm gonna start up here at the top. And this is what I like, because we have all these stems that are supporting these. So now you can just have fun and put them in. Just play with it. It's great. So we're gonna put one over there. Definitely need one like right in here by the lavender. And that's gonna sit right by the lavender there. Some are gonna bury more than others. Cut some of these stems off. I want one kind of cascading out the front here a little bit. So let's put one there and let's bend it down like it's growing out of the front of the basket. That's a good look. Let's cut some more. Sometimes if you cut these stems a little bit shorter, you'll have less chance of them falling forward too, by the way, another tip on that. Because if you have all of this length, they get heavier on top and they want to droop. They'll stand up straighter on a shorter stem. So if you don't need the length, and at this point we don't, because all the stems, all the other greens are going to support them, cut them a little shorter and you'll have better luck. Okay, so we got that one. Let's do one back in the background over here. I'm just going to scatter them here and there, like that. Put this guy down. I want to bring him up, so let's get one under him. But yet I'm going to bring him right next to that hydrangea, which I think is a really good look. Right, you know, like everything's just growing together. Okay, let's get another one going. And then let's do a little mass of these right here. So we have a couple here coming up. We have one here. Those are a little bit different shade, which is good. And then I'm going to come up in here. There's Bob. Come say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Come say hi. Come get on camera. Go hi. The man that puts up with all these balloons all the time. I'm on my life. That's it, not hi.
That's
Introduce
it.
yourself.
That's it. Hold on. What do we got here? Hi, everybody. Bob here. Supporting this lady.
He does. He's a good husband.
Yeah, it's driving me crazy. Hi, Dee.
He's crazy. He's crazy to put up with all this. Okay, so let's see what we got. I don't like this one. I stood back and looked at it and I'm like, no, I don't like. I think it's because it's a different variety from the others. Sometimes that happens. These are all the same. This matches this one. So let's. I need another piece of green. Hold on. I need a piece of green because I'm not getting enough support on that one side. So let's throw another piece of greenery in there. Right over here. Let's see. That's better. I think I'm going to use one more. Sometimes you go back and you're like, I need a little something over there. So we're going to put it in. And I also like that these got pretty much these pretty much got buried, right? So it's kind of nice to bring a few back forward so you can see that bright color. So let's fill up this whole area that's a little bit sparse. And I think it'll look a little bit better. And then one on this other side. So I broadcast it there. Let's bring it behind this lavender over here. I think it'll look nice. We need a little brightness. You know what I need? Hey Bob, you know these bushes here
Not
that
personally.
you grabbed? Can you go find me one more in the garage?
What is it?
They're the bushes you brought
Yeah.
in. I need one more of those. So he's gonna do my running for me because I don't think there's any more down here in my pile. Give it to me, look. Maybe there it is. Is that one? Ooh, that one. But I might need two, so I'll let him go ahead and get that one. But this is where you find your holes, right? And where you still need a little support. So if you have an extra bush or poop. What?
There's a problem.
What?
I got it in the box.
Yeah. What's the problem?
This one, they put the flowers on the wrong end. Oh.
Really? It's white. I'm here, and he's cooking dinner. Anyway, okay, so we're going to put this up here because we need a little more support in here. Right like that. Let me fan this out so I really get what I need out of it. There we go. And now we can put that other green stem in. I'm probably going to go right in the middle there so we see a little bit more. Right like that. It's just a hint. I gotta move it. Like that. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so now you guys, and we had one of these fall out, didn't we? Who took this out when I wasn't looking? One of you guys? Because this was in there. Okay, things fall out. Did you notice at the end of my live yesterday, some of the fern had fallen out? I got off the live and looked at it and I went, oh. So when you start messing and shifting, things fall out. So stand back and we'll put it back in. Go back up under that thing. Okay, so now this needs to bend a little bit. Push that up, right like that, and I think we're ready to add a little of the bright pink. Let's see how these do, because I think these could be real pretty in there. And you guys can tell me what you think, because we can always pull them back out. You think you're gonna like the pink? Let me know. Yeah, Martha, he is a keeper. Dee says hello, Leanne says hello, Martha says hello. Everybody saying hi, Bob.
Hi.
Bob, what's for dinner?
I don't know. Thinking about it.
You're gonna think about it?
Buddha bowls, maybe.
Ooh, Buddha bowls. He makes this awesome Buddha bowl. They're so good. Okay, so let's bring, I want one right in between these. Kind of cascading down a little bit. So it's going to get heavier in the middle, but it's okay. Because at the very end, we'll add some things that pop out from it. I think I want one up here. By that guy. So we're just doing them abstract. There's no rhyme or reason in how I'm putting these in here. Oh, by the way, these were they Home Goods or TJ Maxx? They came in like a bundle of free, like this. Aren't these gorgeous, you guys? The greens on them are pretty. They're just amazing. I love filling. I love going into TJ Maxx or Home Goods and finding these little surprises like this. So, okay. So I've got this one coming in. I want one over here draping down. Also. So we've got some growing out the front. little something over here. Cascading over there. So it's not real perfect, right? We're just scattering them. But I think that's a good way to do this arrangement. Just scatter things here and there. So I'm thinking in here, or maybe way up high. Let's try way up high. If I can get up there. Let's see. That might be good. This is going to have to come forward a little bit. Sometimes I go too recessed. Like that. Yeah, so kind of like an English garden arrangement. Okay, so let me get rid of some of these stems. I've made a mess. And then we're going to move on and put some of these accent flowers in. Let's start with these little guys. Because we don't want all big blooms on this. We need some smaller ones to make it make a little bit of sense here. And we need some little ones sticking out a little bit further than the big ones. So we'll go straight down and let them just hang out there. Got a little hole going right here, so I gotta shift things a little bit. Let's shift this up here. Fill in our holes. Pretty good. Okay, so that's enough of those. See how it's just making it come alive? It's just like amazing. Don't need that much, but it sure does make it pop. But I think this lime green, these little carnations, Michael's, are really going to do a number on it. So let me cut a few of these down a little bit. So we can broadcast some of these and help fill some of our little holes we got going. So, and if they droop, drooping is good. We're going to put a couple in one area. So we have a little mass of them. Rather than making these look like polka dots all throughout, I'd rather put groups of several bunches just so it makes sense. Okay, so I got one there. Let's do a group right here. And of course, we've got to get through all these masses of blooms. It's crazy. Okay, and I have one more. So let's just do one right here. I'm going to recess that a little bit more. So it's kind of hiding in the background. Okay, so that's enough of those. Let's put in some berries. And again, we're going to do some groups of berries. One back here. Let them just kind of hang out together. One in here with this green. a little group of berries here and there. All right, what are we missing, guys? What are we missing? Here's one more. Let's get one more in there. One over here. I'm gonna try to go up from the top. See if I can get this to drape. A little more. There we go. So things are going to droop, then we got to push them back up a little bit. But I think that's good for blooms. But what I like to do at the very end is add a few more of these coming out a little further. Because we've got a lot of blooms that are kind of at the same level, which is pretty. But sometimes you add just a few of these and it just makes it go really awe. So, because now they're kind of all in the background. So I want to bring some more back into the center here. And this will also give it a little lift. So we'll just put a couple of these hanging out here and there where we have some holes and some dead spots. Let's put one over here, draping out a little bit, just like they're growing, right? See how I want that one to be. Right in here. And I think I need one right in the middle. Let me get one more of these. Up toward the top. Because this is getting pretty flat up here. So let's bring it out a little more, like that. So it kind of makes it look like maybe the roses, the cabbage roses or peonies, whichever they are, and the hydrangeas and everything are kind of recessed, but these wildflowers are growing out a little further, so it's a good look. And then remember, I told you, let's add a little curly willow at the end. So this will really help with the depth. So we're going to take these, we need to break a little bit off the bottom because we don't need all that length. And we're going to have these come right out the front. And this really makes it look fresh. I don't know if you see that on camera, but just a few little pieces here and there. Just kind of balancing there. It's a good look. Do I have any more? I think that's all I brought in. So the two little pieces there. Then the last thing we can do, shall I put a bunch of my fern in? I want you guys to vote on this because we haven't voted on a lot this whole arrangement. This has been a long live. We're almost at 3. We started 1:30, so we're almost an hour and a half. Yes or no? Do I put a mass of this green right in this arrangement? You guys tell me yes or no. What do I do? Yeah, Leanne, I like the pink. I do like the pink in this. Everybody's loving the pink. I love that. Dee says yes on the fern. I like it. I can see this at a wedding. Anniversary, I hope you don't mind me saying, as a funeral. Yeah, this style of arrangement, okay, the shape, everything, it translates into so many different events. Wedding, funeral, I mean, just in your house to do a wow. Any type of event, Christmas party, anything, you guys, seriously. Nancy says yes, Leanne says yes, Martha says yes, Dee says yes. So I think that's most everyone. Marie, do you think yes? Watch the rest on replay. Yes, Marie, definitely. Kim, what do you think? Yes? Trying to get everybody in here. Mary says yes. Tabitha says she'd have to see. Shelly says yes. So let's try it. Let's try it. We can always pull it out, right? And this is what I love about floral design. Nothing's permanent. You can remove it if you don't like it. So I fanned it out. And then I'm thinking, it's looking kind of messy in here to me. So we've got the lavender breaking it up. Let's break it up right here. Let's just break it up. Let's put a little bunch of fern in there. And let's just break it up. What do you think? And we could do another piece over here. What do you think? Let me grab one more bunch. Because I'm thinking that's nice for breaking up the structure of this arrangement. I'll grab a couple just in case. Come back around here. Right now, this house, it looks like Bob lives in a florist. We live in a florist right now. There's so many flowers everywhere, oh my goodness. Can't wait till I get the house done for spring. So we did the one. Shall we do a second over here and maybe a third? Should we do a group of 3? What do you think? You guys tell me what to do. Shelly likes it. Okay, so yes, more fern, or yes, fern, did you guys like it? I'm thinking I really like it in there because it brightens it. But I'm thinking we might need more than one piece. So let's try, Leanne says a group of 3. I agree with you. I don't like 1s. I don't like 2s. I like 3s. So let's try breaking it up here. And because I'm up there, let's go up and under right here. So it looks like we have fern growing out here and there. I think it's a good look. And then we cut the tag off this one. Okay. And because our lavender is there, there, and there, I think I'm going to go up there, up in this area. Don't you guys think? So let's try this right here, because we kind of have a little bit of a dead spot right there. And let's get him coming in. It got, oop, he's falling. It got a little heavy. So let's see, can I get into the top and have it just spill down a little bit? Oh yeah, I think that's a good look. So we have 1, 2, and we have 1 up there. What do you think? Does it show? I guess it does, yeah. So there you guys have it. I think we're done. We got it all in there, and that's a mass of flowers. But it's so cool when you can do a big arrangement like this, even in your home. And if you were doing weddings, and I didn't do this just to do it in my home, because I honestly wasn't going to do it this year, but it's wedding season. So do you see that if you're doing your own wedding, a friend's wedding, or you do it as a business, how you could build one of these out of artificial, and it's easy. And you could build it on site. It doesn't take that long. So Dee loves it. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Tabitha. Thank you, Nancy. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a long tutorial, but once you break it down and you use the 2 vases, do you see the drama you can create with 2 vases? So, because I can't even imagine getting the height and the depths using just one big basket. It would be really hard. You'd have to foam up that whole basket. And even then, it would be hard to get all these different levels. So I like how you can play off the 2 vases and you get the height and the width and everything else. So I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like this post, share it if you can, and make sure you're following, and I'll bring you guys more. I'm going to go now. Any questions at all? Oh yeah, and Martha, it lasts longer. The other good thing about doing this kind, oh Mary, yeah, a round entryway, it would be beautiful. Oh my gosh, over the top gorgeous. What's nice, if this was used in a wedding, they could take that apart and have the flowers. You know, what a keepsake, right? You could make other things with it, etc. You know, they may want to keep it just as a big arrangement, but it would go a long way. So I love it. I love it because you don't have to throw it away. It's never going to die. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to get off of here and see if it's maybe a margarita night, Bob. We'll see. Anyway, so thanks for watching me. I know it was a long one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll post some stills and a little video of it so you can see a little bit more detail up close. And so remember to like it, share, make sure you're following me, and we'll be back. Tomorrow is an off day, so I won't be live tomorrow, but I'll be back on Tuesday. So you're welcome, Martha. Thanks for watching, you guys. And thanks for following Big Barn Blooms. Thank you, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Bye now.